All right, hi everyone. This is my first attempt here at putting together a video as a study guide for Unit 1 for the AP exam. I'm going to do my best here. I'm holding sessions online to answer questions, and I've been posting for the last few weeks. So if you have personal questions, deeper questions than have been answered, please feel free to email me. Get back to me at any point. Make sure we can answer those questions. Today I'm going to do my best to go through Unit 1. Hopefully I'll be able to post these a couple of times over the next week. All right, let's start this. Unit 1.1, Foundations of American Democracy. Sorry, I'm going to be reading off notes here because I scrambled to put this all together over the last few nights. Foundations of Democracy. So a couple things to remember. First thing and foremost is that this is by no means comprehensive. I'm going to do my best to cover the broad information, but to get more detail, you need to log on to the classroom and go to the study guides for Unit 1, 2, and 3. Those guides were posted earlier in the week. I will repost them again. Lots of quizzes online, Khan Academy, AP Classroom. I've been given feedback as soon as you finish your AP Classroom stuff, so please get it done, folks. 1.1, Foundations of American Democracy. Just remember that our government is based on a number of ideas of limited government. These include natural rights, popular sovereignty, republicanism, that's a small r, republicanism, and the social contract. Also remember that we wrote that Declaration of Independence. Well, actually, these guys wrote the Declaration of Independence. Called the Committee of Five, and it provides the foundation of popular sovereignty. The Constitution is then the blueprint for our democracy. All right. Jumping into this debate, 1.2, the balance between governmental power and individual rights. Remember, this is a constant issue at the beginning between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists, and very early on we looked at Brutus 1 and Federalist 10, which are both required documents. So let's take a look at Brutus. The author of Brutus 1 really wanted, when talking about the size and the power of the Fed, wanted the bulk of the power with the states. They want it to be closest to the people. Their interests are well known. They say it's the easiest way to protect individual liberties. If you have shared interests, you have a higher functioning government, and it's less likely to be corrupted. On the opposite side, the Federalists argued that we should have an increased federal power. Under a central government, the size of the territory will make it easy for factions to oppress the rights of the people and control the government. Therefore, we need a large federal government to ensure that those factions don't take over. Remember that word, factions. All right, we also have in this little mini part of this Unit 1.2 the three different models of representative democracy. Remember, we got a variety of different types of democracy, but the three we're focused on are participatory. This is broad participation, and the law comes through elected officials. All right, this is something like town hall meetings. We also have a pluralist democracy. This is where individuals work through groups formed around a common cause. We oftentimes think of them as interest groups or factions, like so. And lastly is the elitist. This is where a small number of people participate in the democratic process. They tend to be wealthy, educated, and think that they can make the best decisions for us. And a good example of that is the Electoral College. Remember, after the war, that would be the Revolutionary War, in case you forgot. The Articles of Confederation was developed to help our nation function as one big group. Articles of Confederation ran from 1781 to 1789 and unfortunately had a number of issues that caused it to fail. Those issues are namely a weak national government, no power to tax, no power to regulate commerce, no separate executive branch, no national court system. Each colony had its own separate money. Can you imagine that? Going place to place and one place telling you they don't take your money and so on and so forth. Each state had one vote no matter what their population was, and it took 9 out of 13 states to pass legislation. There was also no way to draft a military at the federal level from the states, and this will lead to the biggest issue that comes about in this era that will make us rethink the Articles of Confederation, and that's Shays' Rebellion. Remember that guy? Yeah, he didn't want to pay his taxes. And so he fought back. Let's move on to 1.5. Ratification of the Constitution. You had all these issues as they realized the Articles of Confederation was failing and there was no way that they were going to be able to continue as a nation without some bigger plan. So in this planning phase, they came up with two really big ideas. We called the Virginia and the New Jersey plan. These were all about how states are represented at the legislative level. The Virginia plan really wanted representation to be based on population. Of course, states like Virginia were huge. They had lots of people, therefore they're going to get more representation. Then you got little small states like New Jersey, all right, which don't have a lot of people, but still want to have influence in the government, and they will push for the New Jersey plan, which will give equal representation amongst all of the states. That will lead to what we call the Great Compromise. With us having a bicameral or two-house legislature, the House of Representatives, which is based on population, aka the Virginia plan, and the Senate, where each state gets 2 representatives, aka the New Jersey plan. Also, some other compromises made at the Constitutional Convention to get people to sign on to this Constitution. The 3/5 Compromise, where 3/5 of slaves were counted as population for representation. There are so many issues with this, I can't even get into it. The Commerce and Slave Trade Compromise ended with Congress not being able to tax exports from the states and not banning the slave trade for 20 years. Again, so many issues here, I can't even begin to get into it. Lastly, well, not lastly, but one of the other big things that happens during this Constitutional Convention is the establishment of the Electoral College, which will be established to elect the president through the delegate system. Part of the elitist model of democracy. Good times. Lastly, certainly not least, to appease the anti-federalists, the Bill of Rights will be added.
Daddy, I'm done.
Wow, nice job, Phoebe.
Please. Super special sticker.
You can have a super special sticker. Hold on. Please remember, the Bill of Rights is our first 10 amendments to the Constitution.